Football finished in 2019 on a pretty good note, but things turned as we entered 2020. The 2020 season started on a sad note when long-standing president of the North Football Club and life member of the King Island Football Association, Bob Cooper, lost his battle with cancer and was laid to rest. There were no changes within the King Island Football Association in 2020, with Trevor Stone staying on as president. Vice president was Matt Warren, Tom Harris deputy vice president, Wendy Constable secretary, and Jan van Rooswijk treasurer. Things looked promising early in the season, but then COVID hit, which put a stop to everything. In the end, it was decided not to play seniors, but the juniors were keen, so we had a season where Sam Reeman and Jigs Demby worked together to have a junior competition. 2 teams were made up each week, with them being called the Tiger Snakes and the Mutton Ducks. At the end of the season, we had a function for the players where we handed out medals and trophies. Instead of it being the Terry Perry Medal, we called it the COVID Medal, which went to Jackson Taylor. Leading goal kicker went to Joseph Daniel, and it is good to see that both these boys played seniors this season. The King Island Cultural Centre got in touch with us during 2020 about working with them to hold an exhibition on football on King Island, and from this the 2020 Grand Final was born. People from King Island and from away sent in memorabilia, which saw some interesting pieces get displayed. It was opened by King Island Football Association life members Vernon Philby and Chris Barnett on the day we would normally have been playing our grand final. Lisa Torrey saw a competition on TV that Sportsbet was putting on called Backing the Battler and decided to nominate the King Island Football Association for the competition. He was quite surprised to find out that his nomination was successful, and the KIFA was one of 14 winners from 480 entries to go into the draw for a horse for a chance to win $25,000. The horse that we drew was Nevea, which saw it run in colours made up for us. It was an exciting race that saw Nevea come third in the race, which gave us $7,500. Well done, Lee. A small group of people had been working on upgrading the playing surface of the Curry Oval using a plan given to us by John Geary from Cape Wickham Links. This included regular spraying for weeds, fertiliser spreading, mowing and watering. John Geary gave us a mower to use, and the King Island Council gave us an extra water connection which allowed us to use 2 sprinklers to water the oval, which made a huge difference. This work continued in 2021, where we also had a couple of working bees to aerate the goal squares and plant kikuyu stolons into bare areas, which was a bit late but still worked really well. There were a few changes to the King Island Football Association in 2021, with Trevor Stone stepping down as president and Wendy Constable stepping down as secretary. This saw Jan van Rooswijk take on the president's job along with still being the treasurer. Vice president was still Matt Warren, with Troy Smith taking on the deputy vice role and Kelsey Watts taking on the secretary's job. Gallagher Australia rep Justin Cooper organised a fundraising scheme again this year, where 10% of the value of any Gallagher product bought through Elders in Curry between the 1st of May to the 10th of September will be donated to support King Island football. We thank Justin very much for doing this, as it is a major fundraiser for us. Justin will be with us on Grand Final Day to present the cups to both the juniors and the seniors. Just before our season started, the Tackle Your Feelings organisation came to King Island and held a workshop which aimed to provide community coaches, committee members and club leaders with the tools to understand, recognise and manage the response to signs of mental health in their players and members of their club. We opened this up to the public with help from Foundations to Flourish, and we had an excellent turnout for the workshop. The workshop was run by Nick Walsh with Dylan Buckley, Ben Guthrie and Mel Irons, and they also brought a media crew with them to make a promotional video of the event, which we will look at later. AFL Tasmania also came along with Damien Gill, CEO of AFL Tasmania, Barry Gaby, Sam Bridges and Emma Humphries. Sam and Emma took clinics at the school, while Damien and Barry out our facilities in both Grassy and Curry. There was a positive atmosphere around the three clubs this season, even though player numbers were low. To make things easier for clubs to get sides on the ground, we made it that clubs could play with 14 on the ground with up to 4 on the bench. If sides on the day had enough players on the day to both field 16, then that would be allowed. Teams also had to match what the team with the least number of players had on the ground. Quarters were dropped to 20 minutes and clubs on the bye could top up either of the two sides to a maximum of 14 players. Club taking top-ups needed to have at least 8 of its own players before they could take any. Curry was the only side to struggle at times for players, which saw 6 players from North and 6 from Grassy help them out at different times. 5 junior players stepped up to play seniors, with Joseph Daniel, Matthew Lasky, Tyler Hudson, Blaze Mallinson and Rory Taylor all enjoying their games. There was a total of 86 players who played this season. Grassy had 30 registered players, with Brandon Blomfield, Zach Price, Jack Nosita, Lloyd Barnett, Tristan Forrest and Tyler Rhodes, who played all their 10 games and only had 4 players that did not play enough games to play finals. Curry had 26 registered players, with Jack Worrell and Jack Ude the only players to play their 10 games. They had 8 players who had not played enough games to play finals and had 12 top-up players help them out during the season. North also had 30 registered players, and like Curry, they only had 2 players in Luke Lancaster and Ned Hunter who had played all their 10 games. They had 6 players who did not play enough games to play finals and did not use any top-ups. Chris Barnett took on the job of coaching Grassy again for his 4th season in the job. Jared and Joel Williams took over from Brett Castles, with Brett helping out when they were playing, while Tom Shaw took on the job for North again for his 5th time. Umpires were a bit on the short side as well, with Wayne Hamer, Mark Innes and John Javasian being the only regular umpires in the seniors, while in the juniors we called on the clubs to help out, which saw Jeremy Summers, Justin Summers, Jai Summers, Adam Clark, Joel Williams, Dylan Beecroft, Arnold Stillmaker, Bailey Rainbow and Craig Constable all help out. Numbers at Auskick this season were outstanding again, with Stacey Martin and Trevor Hamer doing a great job in organising it all. It is great to see these young kids really enjoy it, with plenty of parents helping out as well. Bellevue Chartered Accountants and Advisors sponsored a game again this year, which saw them supply all that was needed for the game. They were unable to have any of their own team play again, as they were unable to make the game. The Bellevue best player on the day went to Jeremy Summers, with North also winning the game. We held a sports trainers course, which was taken by Martin Fry from Tasmania, and saw 12 people attend. It was a well-delivered course, with the participants getting a lot out of it. A big thank you to John Smith from the King Island Hotel, who helped us out with holding this course. The ABC came over and did some stories on King Island, and they did one with us, where they spoke to Jan van Rooseweek, Arnold Stillmaker and Joseph Daniel. As yet the story has not gone to air. For the first time we have seen girls be allowed to play in the juniors, which has seen Jana Bergen and Chloe Harnett enjoy their chance to play. Now let's look at some of our favourites. Jeremy Summers has had a good consistent season this year for North. He always plays a strong game round the ground, whether it be in the ruck, in the back line or up forward. His strong marking all over the ground is a standout, and he seems to be thinking more about his game, which has seen him bring his teammates into the game. Justin Summers, he is a 5-time winner of the Keating Medal, which he has won in 2011, 2015, 16, 17 and 18. He has had an interrupted season this year for North, but in the games he has played as North's captain, he has led his team by example. He is an excellent reader of the play. His hard running and ability to rack up possessions seemingly at will has seen him consistently give North lots of drive around the ground. Jack Nosita, a new player to King Island who has had a very consistent season for Grassy. He is a good reader of the play, can take a good mark and can find a bit of pace when needed. His strong play out of the back line has seen him bring his teammates into the game and is not afraid to run forward if the opportunity is there. Tristan Forrest, runner-up in the Keating Medal in 2017 and captain of Grassy again this season, and Tristan has led his side by example. He is a strong, fast player who reads the play well and uses his pace to advantage. He is a strong mark and can kick on both sides of his body. He has played most of the season in the half-forward line, which has seen him get a few goals to his name. Jack Worrell has had a consistent season for Curry this year. He is a tall player who uses his height well all around the ground. He has been a standout in the ruck, with him giving Curry first use of the ball on a regular basis. Joel Williams took on the coaching job at Curry this season and has had a solid season for them. He attacks the ball hard and is a strong, reliable mark and has a good penetrating kick, which he uses well, whether he is playing up forward or down back. He moves well all round the ground, using the ball to his side's advantage and continually bringing his teammates into the game, but has missed a few games due to injury. Doug Cox, winner of the medal in 2013 and has had a good season with Curry again. He is an elusive player that opposition players find hard to tackle at times, but he seems to be slowing down a bit as he has been caught a bit with the ball this season. Ned Hunter, a young and upcoming player who has quite a bit of spring in his legs and has had a good consistent season for North. He is a pacey player who can gather up plenty of possessions during a game. His ability to jump, mark, kick and run has seen him be an important player in the North side. Lee Satori has returned to King Island and has been playing some great football for Grassy. His work out of the back line has been a standout with his strong marking, running and kicking. He reads the play well and brings his teammates into the game. Has missed a couple of games due to injury, but should still get some votes. Jack Ude has returned to football after a season off and has had a good season with Curry. His strong play around the ground has seen him give Curry a lot of drive forward. He tackles hard and is also very quick to play on, which has seen him give Curry plenty of drive forward out of their back line, and when he runs forward he can also kick goals. Alexander Dean, better known as Xander, and has played well for North whenever he has played this season. He has a nice mark and kick and just goes about his role quietly around the ground, getting lots of touches, which has seen him bring many of his teammates into the game. Freddie Tatawaka has been a good player around the ground for Grassy this season. He ducks and dives his way out of trouble most of the time, and even though his kicking lets him down sometimes, he still gets a lot of the ball, giving Grassy plenty of drive forward. Duncan Clemens, he got talked into playing again this season and seems to have enjoyed it. He might be in the twilight of his career, but he continues to play some great football for Curry. Duncan is fair, hard at it and rarely beaten. Despite most of his opponents being quite a bit younger, he has shown the benefit of his experience, footy nous and natural talent. Stay with us tonight to see if Duncan can get a vote or two and see who will win the medal tonight at this, the 2021 King Island Football Association's W.D. Keating Medal count.